Today I'm having something very similar to one of the previous videos I made, but it's a slightly different variation and it's from a different restaurant. So I thought I would show sort of the variation in how this dish can be made. The thing I had before was called Kaoro Banfan, which is like roast meat on rice with some veggies. Um, this dish that I got today is also a variation of Kaoro Banfan. I got it from a restaurant that does specializes in Kaoro Banfan, but um, this time I got it with two meats. So many places that do this Kaoro Banfan, that's usually pork. It's usually like kind of grilled up little chunks of pork. And another common meat to use in this is like a fried chicken cutlet. So here we have a strip of fried chicken. So with this one, I ordered. You can get it with like just the chicken or just the pork, or this time I ordered it with both the chicken and the pork. So the pork is what's called kaoro. So that's the original meat they used. And then people realized like, oh, this would be good with like a fried chicken cutlet. So this has it's crispy skin chicken is what it's called. Tsui pi. Tsui means crispy and pi means skin. So tsui pi ji, crispy skin chicken. And then I often like to get this dish with like a fried egg. They've done it in a little heart here, and then a little sausage kind of thing, like a hot dog. This restaurant, I thought I would show this off because the other restaurant I ordered from had a bunch of options of veggies, peicai, accompanying veggies, that went with that you could pick and choose what you wanted to go with it. This restaurant doesn't have a list of things to choose. They just put whatever they want in it. And I think, if I remember correctly, this restaurant just puts lettuce. I can dig around in here, but I don't think this Oh no, they've got the hang on. They also have this is called tudosu. Tudosu is potato strips. Tudo is potato and su is strips. But there's not very much. It's mostly just lettuce. So this just has basically rice, meat, and lettuce. So like different restaurants will do different things. Like some restaurants just have a set of veggies they put on. Some restaurants like this don't really put veggies. They just have like a layer. Basically, the lettuce is a layer to keep the meat from messing up the rice until you've mixed it together. So like if it's because this is often a delivery kind of dish or a fast food thing that you like pick up, you get takeout, and then it's like sitting a while. So to keep the rice fresh without getting like all the meat juices like ruining the rice, like they put a layer of lettuce in between. So the meat sits on top of lettuce on the rice, and then when you get it, you can mix it up and it's still like fresh rice. With the sauce will get mixed into the rice and be fresh instead of kind of sitting and then like making the rice get too soggy or anything. So the other one I did, they had a whole bunch of different kind of veggies you could get along with it, and they served it with veggies. Whereas this place doesn't actually do any veggies. Some places just have their set list of veggies, like they might just do the potatoes or just the little strips of dried tofu or something. Some other common things that people get with this are things like strips of seaweed. They call it hai tai. Or like mung bean sprouts. I'm forgetting the name for mung bean sprouts right now. Um, I know it, but it's not coming out of my mouth at the moment, so I don't I don't really remember it at the moment. Um, but this is a nice change up. Like I like to get this because it's got the fried chicken in it, so it's like adds a little different texture and variation to the dish. Um, again, this restaurant I ordered it with the Mija sauce, which just means like it can either mean secret or it can mean honey, um, depending on how you write it. um, it can either mean secret sauce or honey sauce. Um, there's lots of other sauces. I like kind of sweet honey barbecue type sauce, and this is a good version of that. So um, I tend to that's my go to uh, flavor of sauce for this dish. Some other popular ones are just like a red hot sauce, kind of thick, pasty hot sauce that's kind of like maybe similar to like a sriracha sauce. It's not exactly the same as sriracha, but that kind of consistency and just like a spicy hot sauce. Um, and some people get it with mayo. That's another common topping is just like mayo on top. That one I'm not a big fan of that. I don't particularly like the Asian style of mayonnaise. I mean, I don't particularly like mayonnaise to begin with, but um, if I am gonna have mayonnaise in something, I like it to be the not sweet version. But most Asian mayonnaise is very sweet. For an audience from America, it's probably more similar to like Miracle Whip. It's not really like like I mean, there's a pretty famous the Japanese kupi or QP mayo is pretty famous. I think most Americans are familiar with that. So that like in Asia, most mayonnaise is that style of mayonnaise and tends to be quite sweet. Um, there can be a variety of other sauces you get on this. They also have like a black pepper, um, kind of like a black pepper gravy, like a similar to what you might get with a like a beef dish, like black pepper beef. You can get that on here. Um, and then most restaurants will have their own little specialty sauces as well. Like um, the ones I listed now are kind of the more major, the ones that basically every restaurant will have those ones. But then there might be some other ones like a lot of places will have a garlic sauce. Um, or they might have several other types of spicy sauce. Um, like variations like a sweet and like a sweet and spicy sauce and a sour and spicy sauce and a just a spicy sauce and uh, or they might have variations on the black pepper kind of sauce. Like they might have like what you would call like a Japanese style teppanyaki. So in the word is the same in Chinese. So teppanyaki just means well, teppen just means iron plate, and in Chinese that's tiaban. Um, so they call it iron plate tiaban. Jiang is sauce. So iron plate sauce. That'll often be kind of a savory brownish sauce with like maybe a bit of black pepper in it, and maybe some kind of a soy kind of component. Bit salty, a bit peppery. Um, they'll also often have barbecue sauce. Not exactly the same barbecue sauce as we have in America, but similar to like a kind of Kansas City, like deep brown, sweet molasses kind of barbecue sauce. That's generally what people think of as barbecue sauce here. If you say barbecue sauce, they think of like that style, like the like um, American like bullseye or something similar to that. KC masterpiece, something like that. And that's actually barbecue is actually also called kaoro. So any kind of barbecue is called kaoro. So this dish is called kaoro banfan. American barbecue is just called meisha kaoro. Um, Mei is the first word in the Chinese word for America. So country is guo. So America, the country America is called Mei Guo. Continent is Zhou. So the continent America is called Meizhou, and so Meizhou is and Meiguo. Meiguo is in Meizhou. But Mei, when you say Mei and then something, shi means a style. So Mei shi Kaoro is American style barbecue. This is the kind of restaurant that, if you go anywhere in this city at least, I don't really know how popular this dish is around the country. I think it's fairly popular in most places. Within like a 5 minute walk of my house, there's at least like six of these restaurants. So it's very popular, especially as a lunch option. So the part of the city that I live in is more of a business district than a resident. It has residential in it, but there's a lot of like kind of big office buildings. Not like skyscraper, but like high rise office buildings, like maybe 20 or 30 floor office buildings. Um, so they're not like massive skyscrapers. They're just kind of like fairly tall office buildings. And so there's a lot of like lunch spots in the area for workers who are working at those places to go get food at. Um, and this is a very common dish to. This one, I think, this is less common to eat in the restaurant. This is much more of a takeout. You either get it delivered, or you order it and go pick it up and take it back to your office. And this is the kind of dish that you sit at your desk and eat while you're working. The classic way to eat it is to really mix it all up. Um, that's actually what the ban in Karo Banfan means. That ban, this is the problem with trying to translate Chinese. Is there's a whole bunch of words that sound the same, and you just have to be like this version of this or this word that has this sound. This ban basically means two things mixed together. But if you look at how they serve it, you're like, oh, it's not really mixed together. It's just meat on rice. And there's another name for that. So I was very confused when I first got here because if you have like a dish that would normally be served by itself, and then you put that on top of rice and it's served on top of rice, they call that gai fan. Gai means on top of. But then this thing that's some meat and veggies and stuff on top of rice, which to me should be the same thing, is called ban fan. But the difference is that one it's an actual dish that's been put on top of rice. This is just some ingredients that are on the rice, but they're meant to be mixed in with it. So the ban fan is like mixing the stuff together. So that's why it's called Karo ban fan. This is one of those dishes this is one of the dishes that's the reason why I made this channel. Because if you asked a Chinese person to tell you about Chinese food, they would never mention this. Because this isn't considered like a fancy aspect of Chinese food. This is just like they might, if you ask them, oh, what did you get for lunch today? They might tell you this. But if you're like, can you describe Chinese cuisine? They're not going to consider this as they're not going to be like, this is a proud element of Chinese cuisine. But I think it's a really good dish. And so like, that's kind of the reason I've been making these videos. I never really explained why I was making them, but I realized there's a lot of like famous dishes that get lots of attention as like specialties of various areas or things like that. And like travel bloggers will go and visit someplace and eat the pickled eggs or so like in Harbin, there's a famous type of egg called the Songhua Dan, which is the river that goes through Harbin is called Songhua. So the Songhua Dan is this basically fermented egg that is pretty extreme. But a lot of like when people are traveling through, they're like, oh, what's a specialty dish? They get that. But people aren't eating those every day. The more common egg that like, it's much more common for people to be eating these stupid heart-shaped fried eggs. These are really fucking common here. So like, this is like way more common than that. But like, if you're asking if you're asking some travel blogger about the food in the area, they're not going to come up with this because this is just kind of mundane, everyday stuff. But that's kind of what I wanted to showcase, was just the mundane, everyday aspects of eating here that are different than anywhere else I've been. Just show off the simple foods that are here, not all the fancy like headline foods, but just the stuff that everyday people eat every day. And because it's not the same as in other places. So that's kind of why I made this channel in the first place. Well, I think I've kind of exhausted my ability to talk on this subject, but I'll keep getting more mundane. I almost named the channel Mundane China, but then I called it Lunch in China instead. Just because that's what I'm not really interested in all the fancy headline stuff. What I'm interested in is just the mundane, everyday little details of how is it different, and it's things that I don't notice, right? Until I started thinking about making this channel, that's just what my life is like. And that's why no one really thinks to do this kind of thing, because it's just the thing that you're accustomed to, so you don't think about it as strange. This is just my daily life. These are just foods that I eat every day. They're not, to me, they don't seem unusual, but I started thinking about it, and like if I had seen all these foods when I was back in America, all of them would be exotic and different and strange. So that's kind of why I made this, just to show off what to some people might be exotic, that is just everyday mundane foods here in northeast China, in Dongbei. Um, so that's that. I'll see you next time.